one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an on-field guide with the campaign Plague of Metal. It's going to be a kind of low-action session this week, but I thought I'd let you all know. I'm here with Tank,
What's good?
Air,
Hello.
Nova,
Hello.
Fry,
Oh, hi.
and Nix.
I heard that pause. You forgot our names. Hello, everyone.
We've known each other for how long?
Who are you people?
Who are you
Who
people?
am I?
This
This
is
is
not my
audio, but
beautiful.
it should be.
This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my
The
beautiful house.
Tank, the stream is kind of scrunched.
Yeah, I'm gonna scrunch it harder.
Yeah, no. It was on the Dungeon Divers capture. It should be fixed. Now I caught it myself.
Oh, no. I mean, like, the actual stream is kind of scrunched.
I don't
On
understand what
Twitch
that
right
means.
There is big black bars.
No.
I don't see big. I don't see big black bars.
Okay. Also, hello, Acrophobia, Asa. So, last time, Fry, take it away.
Yeah. The week count.
You need to push the cart. Was the encounters.
We pushed the payload.
We pushed the payload. We successfully detonated it. We got the round win. Crits were given everywhere. We fought two freaks that were throwing alchemical and spells at each other, and they became those elemental damages, and they were scary and fucked up and weird. Also, Inokumi got flattened. We could not save him.
We wanted to.
Large metallic entities came down, and when he tried to defend himself using a shock bomb and an ice bomb, respectively, it caused them to alter their forms and then immediately smash him. I think they shot him.
As far as I'm aware, they weren't hit with an item, they hit each other.
No, the Akumi merchant threw damage at them, and it caused them to change.
Ah.
Yeah. It's they absorb and adapt to elements.
Mm-hmm.
The
The first alloy.
the party, in an escape from a cataclysmic event, in which strange metal creatures started emerging from seemingly nowhere after a giant meteor slammed into the lands of Anon, have been attempting to find refuge in a Nuemian high house known as the House of Teas, and taking whatever other refugees they could in tow, alongside some newfound allies. They escaped into the wilderness, being chased the entire way with combat at their heels. After a grueling 6 hours of nonstop running, you all find yourselves in a relatively clear area with what appears to be a looming marbled walls off in the distance.
Okay.
So we look
As
Do we know what
the
that is?
If we look here to the west. I assume you mean, right?
oh, is
There's a little
my
house
acting
here.
stupid?
Here we go,
Your mic is not
little
acting
house.
stupid.
There's a bunch of little.
There was a little bit of
backgrounds.
static, that's about it.
There's also a seemingly empty house with a beefless carriage nearby.
I'm gonna assume it might have been the property of this Ukumi. Or rather, this former Ukumi, now Bloodstain.
Oh wait.
Can't just say that.
But the
But she's
Akumi had like had an identifier on them that they were associated with the church, correct?
They were with the Grand Merchantry of Vault.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a big old trading company.
Anyway, the rain pours down upon you.
I'm dying of persistent cold damage. We stopped last session on that.
Oh, can I help with
Iris, help me!
that?
Also, I
Healer's
imagine
gloves!
Seika can provide assist to recover a fucking microwave.
He's already gone, Iris. It's okay.
I'm gonna heal you with the healer's gloves.
Oh, I'm freezing to death.
Touch.
Thank you. Accepted.
It's not enough. We're gonna have to put him down.
Here.
Yeah.
I'll take some
Sick,
damage.
sick will put
This'll work.
Because I still have a
Sick will
cold
put
weakness. Yeah, next.
sick will lay a hand on Hanyan's shoulder and I'm like, sorry, it's terminal, and then warm him up.
Oh no.
So
do I have a heal
That
left?
is a
Hold on.
failure even with assisted recovery.
Oh no, no, no.
Do you have any uses of your divine font left? No. Yes.
No staff charges. You have one final font heal if you want to cast that.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
appreciate it.
Here's a life boost as well.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna use healer's blessing too.
Who else is hurt? Because I can blast you with the healer guy.
I'm being boiled.
Get your healer's blessing on, and then I'll heal you. Let's see here. Heal living. Roll healing. Go.
How much is Sternia's life boost healing for per round?
I actually
Four
had
per
the higher
round
selected.
and
Oh well.
2 from healed life boost.
Why is she so badly fucked
The
up?
first time. Can you stop breaking on these?
Um,
There we go.
Consider though, Anian.
Yes, I am considering.
What if I do that once per 10-minute thing where I make that real?
Honestly,
Where I make
even
this-
temp
this-
HP would help against precision cold damage.
I'm just saying. What if you had 30 HP though?
No, no.
Oh my god!
It is
Please,
very
Annie,
cold.
stop dying.
I can't keep healing you!
Very cold,
There we
Hannian.
go. There we go. Now, with assisted recovery, that is sufficient.
All right.
Oh my god.
Remind me next time to be careful about energy mutagants when there are multiple elements.
I understood half of those words.
You just need like a chimeric mutagen.
Do those even exist?
Nope.
No? But they
okay.
can.
Sternia,
Living.
yeah, Sternia looks to you. We should take what time you need. We should get a move on, though. And she waves to the cart.
Refocus.
I'm in state enough to move. No, thank you very much.
We should probably loot the bodies before we go. We have a cart to throw it in.
Yeah. We never.
Iris quietly scooping up all the things into our bag of holding.
Why didn't you get a bag of holding?
I bought it.
Oh, okay.
Remember that we can just put stuff into the party inventory here. The party inventory is the car.
Yes.
Slash the tolls.
Oh look, is that a dead body?
You kids want to see a dead body?
I see one every day.
Hmm.
Someone as
Looking at
young
the,
as you shouldn't see that.
Can I take a look at the these two? With they have some strange things on them.
I'm going to do the electroalloys first.
Yes.
It's a fun thing to say.
Hanyan will
Let's,
be going. I think Hanyan will be going for
tap
other
their
bodies
stuff into a
while
cart
the smart
and we
people
can-
identify
Oh.
items.
Let's have these two. I need some help. Can we heft these things into the cart so that we can look while we move?
Oh, we should really, yeah.
You're moving the corpses onto the cart.
Oh,
The
their stuff.
alloyed, specifically.
Alright. It shouldn't be too hard to move the alloys onto the cart. It's kind of hard to take their items from them on the field because they're mostly fused to their bodies.
Yeah.
My question: Is there a way of hold on, let me double check something. No, it's not fear effect. Never mind.
While tries to think of that, what are the usual funeral rites for this region, or for the culture the Akumi belongs to?
Give me a society.
The society.
Yeah.
So, knowing the Volthgran merchantry, usually it is, despite the more arid, the more arid region, the people of the Five Fingers of Volth typically do burial by sea, by putting their corpses off into the bay. However, considering its distant soil and nowhere near the Five Fingers, a normal burial would probably be fair enough.
And then Anian's just gonna assume the sky burials. He was just gonna leave them.
Circa will clap her hands and cause a divot in the earth to form. Just
Alright.
instant
Control element.
grey.
I have an inventory left. Okay, then.
Those frost alloy shards are worth so much.
So, I will note that you have the alloys in your cart.
Yep.
was
If
gonna
you
say-
would,
What you could do is you could just attach them to the wagon.
yep.
But are they actually wearing armor, or is that something else?
It's part of them. Something like.
It's part of them.
It's basically
We have to-
fused to their body.
We have to take time effectively removing material from them.
Okay.
Seika would want them along with the cart anyway, because she'd want to figure out what they are exactly.
I mean,
We didn't exactly have.
we are heading to a druid's enclave. It might be best to bring it. Maybe they'll know more.
Alright. Hello, Quan. So, I will get... Yeah, so the unusual bow that the electro-alloyed, its skill check is in the chat if you want to try that while you're moving. Boom, he gets it.
Onwards. Unusual is
item?
Suggung. The shock bow. Though a bit gruesome in nature. As a disembodied arm of an electron, this crossbow carries a natural charge that allows it to fire electrifying bolts. A hit with this crossbow deals 1 additional electricity damage. You can use a special action while holding the crossbow to fire a devastating bolt infused with electricity. At the end of your turn, it deals additional. It's getting a -2 there, you estimate being the weak trait, but it deals 1d6.
Yeah,
So
1d6.
It works like my Frost brand, essentially.
Wow.
Minor rune.
It has a minor energy charge to it.
And then here's the other one while you continue moving as the cart begins moving.
Notice the shock bow is a once per minute, and the frigid brand is once every 10 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Oh, that should be magical. Hold on.
Should either of these be changed, or should they be that difference, cats?
No, that's correct for them.
Good. Because I know that the frigid brand is not is a less fancy weapon. It's just a nice sword.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. It takes 10 minutes to
Okay.
identify these, so I'm imagining where you're gonna
Yeah.
pass the time when you transition maps.
Yep. Okay, there we go.
Ooh, the spikes.
I will attempt.
Okay.
Let's see.
Rebecca gets it.
I know how to identify spikes.
Well-
I have spikes for feet.
This is
To
true.
identify it, this is a weapon made out of fairy legs.
I think these were my cousins.
The frigid
Would you use them?
shield spikes. Fused to the arm
You
shield
have
of
cousins?
Frost Owl. These menacing spikes of magically chilled metal inflict slightly less than physical damage in exchange for cold damage. They cannot be removed from the
Interesting.
cast shield. I imagine these are shield spikes that deal 1d4 cold damage.
1d4
Rather
cold
than
damage, 2
what?
piercing damage.
There you go.
Ah, gotcha. Neat.
Attached to a
They are
minor
not
reinforcing
magical.
steel shield.
Not
These are-
magic.
Yeah, these are not a specific magic item, either of them.
No,
They can be
they're
ruined
parts.
normally.
They're parts, basically.
All right, I need a question answered, Cats.
What's up?
The shock bow, can it be downsized to tiny?
Not with what you have on hand.
Oh yeah, you only need
Okay.
the crafts place.
How does it know if, in general, it could be done?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just very carefully
would
whittle
require-
it down.
Yeah, it would require a very practiced hand to take a biological component and shrink it, but considering it's made of metal, it might be possible. Alright, and the wagon begins moving. There are no more scenes after this for the cart ride, so we're going to hang around here for a bit.
Yeah.
Sternia sits down on the cart after you're done hauling the bodies on, and basically strapping them to the top of this rickety cart. That
There are refugees hiding inside of it, just sloth giant monsters on top of it.
the wheels are squeaking a lot more. It's been put under a considerable amount of strain, considering you guys have been moving at full tilt for as long as you have.
Yeah, and it's
And-
not good weather.
The exhaustion has finally started to catch up with you all. You have been fighting and running and moving nonstop for 6 straight hours.
It's quite
I don't know
the
about you,
march.
but I'm getting tired of the smell of rust.
I don't think that's gonna go away very quickly. This all happened.
Ravika looks at the pile of bodies, looks at the water. No, I don't think so either.
This all happened so quick, wouldn't it?
Strangely quickly.
Do you think it's localized?
If
Do you
it
think this
isn't,
is
it's
happening
terrifying.
everywhere right now, or do you think it's just bad here?
Only hope it's localized, says Sternia.
There's no way to know.
As she tips her hat and the water just flows out of the brim.
My worry is if the local water was this affected this quickly, and it's not localized, the entirety of this region would be devastated. They would never recover.
Boomy just looks off into the water. I think that might be worth testing, actually. She's gonna get near the water. Is there a stick nearby? She kneels down.
Okay.
Sure, there's a lot
You can
of-
yank a branch off of a tree.
Yeah, she motions her handy in for help to pull a small branch off a tree that's too high for her.
Okay.
You hop off the cart for a second as then you're making a stop.
Would draw moisture work?
I'm gonna.
Hannian.
Hello.
Oh god.
Oh, go.
I'm going to need an athletics off of you, because this is not wood you're pulling anymore.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's getting fucking transmuted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
This is like trying to rip a jail cell bar out.
Well, that's tough. I'm not sure this is a branch anymore.
Does that work?
It does not.
Oh no.
Seika's going to
We have...
yank a piece of earth up from beneath her feet, and mold it into like a cup or container, and
Okay.
scoop water with it.
All right. You make a little bowl out of clay.
Yeah, looking at the water, is it like sizzling or like is this like how outwardly toxic is this?
Here. Take this, Fumi. Take a torch.
Because I can't. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna dip the non-burning, the non.
Well, it's not even lit yet. It's been in my pack.
I'm gonna grab this toothpick that Revka hands me,
Yeah, pretty much.
and
So-
I'm gonna dip the non-flammable end in the water and just see what happens.
So when you stick the torch into the water in Seika's little bowl, it kind of the liquid warbles a bit, and then starts to climb up a slight amount. But it and as you were watching this, you see the water begin to shift into quicksilver.
Oh.
Fumi, like,
That's
she
weird.
friends when she sees this, and it's like, yeah, things are definitely imbalanced. That's don't drink the water. She like nervously gives like a nervous giggle, like or a nervous laugh.
Revka
Haha.
just starts staring at her.
It's a
I'm gonna
good
go ahead
thing
and
we
test.
collected water skins before we left the town.
I'm gonna go ahead and test this. I'm gonna cast Draw Moisture and see if I can pull a globule out of the water here.
Does it count as?
That's
Water.
that's why I'm checking.
It does until you pull it from the lake, and it instantly becomes quicksilver.
Whack.
Whoa.
So it's the moment something's separated from a greater body of elemental energy, and it becomes more prone to influence.
Probably becomes overloaded by the transmutation.
Because as is, it's trying to act whatever elemental energy. The what was the term? It was you gave it the lunar movement that was causing it.
Sigizi, I think it was. Was that the word, Tank?
Syzygy.
Syzygy. Yeah.
I mean
why
that's
said
so,
why.
sorry. That's the cosmic movement. There was an actual insetting term you gave us for
Yeah, alignment
when these
of
like
moons.
element.
Yeah, it's typically called like a lunar quake.
I think it's
So,
So, another thing I'm curious about is,
what was Nick
can
saying?
you just like? Oh,
I've
sorry.
lost my train of thought. It's fine.
Okay.
Another thing I wanted to. We can do this on the road, but like, just make an empty bowl. I want to see if the rain is that. She like motions back over her shoulder as she turns to the group.
Oh, I can do that. She gets. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Draw Moisture and catch the rain. I think it's
Okay.
explicitly something I can do.
Looks like a normal ball of water.
Is it like regular water or is it like red tinged?
A little bit of red flakiness inside of it.
It'll need to be filtered. I'm not even sure if that'll
I
work.
guess it's not bad till it hits the ground. Well, not completely.
Fumi. There are rust flakes in the rain.
Yeah, but you can get rid of those. I don't think you can get rid of that. And she points towards the blood, like the blood red lake.
We
Oh.
need,
We
can get rid of that.
There's- you know, There's a balance. That's imbalanced. This is not balanced either. She like points at the water globule, but like that can be corrected.
Oh, go ahead, Hanian. What are you trying to identify?
I'm pondering the health hazards of the water.
Considering it turns into mercury when it is removed from the lake, it is not usable as a drinking fluid.
I think I made a good choice in bottling water before.
think
Don't drink
spellcasters
that.
use this as a catalyst.
So, you begin traveling once more. And as you continue your way up the cliffside, you look out into the bay of Marai Lee, and you see the entire bay is shifting into this red color. However, as you near the House of Teas, you do see that the strange rusty blades that have seemed to been grass at one point begin to turn green again.
Oh,
And a more floral smell hits you, and you can see actual water pooling on the ground. Hi, Kaguya.
So,
strange.
so it is local then.
Or
But it is a immediate shift. It is as if something is blocking this rusty strangeness.
it's not.
Okay.
It'd be more accurate to say whatever's preventing this from happening is localized. Someone or something has done something here.
As you near the gates of the House of Teas, the tall marble walls, etched with icons of various teachers past, loom overhead, and you see several Noemia standing guard in long green robes, with a fan-shaped brooch holding their mantles on.
Which was the
Hello!
Noemia again?
They're the large-sized lizard people.
Ah,
Hello! We are seeking shelter!
They look at you for a moment, and they see the wagons,
them.
as you've got multiple wagons following your train.
Friendly wave.
And
Boomy like
They give
pokes her head out and says, "It's bad."
they give a signal to the guardsmen, and the large gates begin to creak open. So,
Thank you!
aren't
As you- as you
Thank
begin,
you.
they bow to you as you enter, each wagon one at a time. And as the last of your wagon train enters the walls of the High House of Teas, you are descended upon by multiple robed individuals. Some of various heights. Some of them are wearing full concealing garb. Some of them, their face is visible. You can tell it is a collection of various ancestries here. Iris, a Raka man with horns seemingly made of granite, comes to you and begins immediately performing first aid, checking for magical impurities, and giving you giving you a small porcelain cup that seems to be full of herbal tea.
I'm gonna sniff it.
Smells like herbal tea. For the rest of you, similar happens, and you can hear your wagons being routed through as first aid is given to your various refugees that you've taken with you.
Rovika would point out to
Sip-
any important official about the two dead bodies that have been brought along as loot. Because clearly they are worried about any infection.
And to be inspected.
Yeah. A larger Noemia, man who seems to stink of mold, with suspiciously damp robes, even in this rainstorm, walks forward and begins peering at them. And as soon as the wagon that you were riding in is emptied, he taps a staff on the ground, and large vines begin to rip the corpses off of the roof of your wagon.
This is fair.
This is
As they are laid out on the ground, an individual who isn't wearing a shirt and seems to have multiple knives crammed into his back with a mop of messy off-white hair walks forward.
Umi
And
just like
he's-
watches him cautiously from like the inside of the wagon, just like what he doing?
He looks at the bodies for a minute. And you see his head turn towards you, and you can't see much of a facial features beyond the rough outline of a nose and a slight frown with a mop of, like I said, off-white hair covering him. As he faces each of you, you could tell he's an Ogun, as the internal glow of his chest pulsates a kind of baleful purple.
Purple is trustworthy.
I'd hope so.
Thank you
He
for letting us
doesn't
enter.
say a word. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you for letting us enter.
The Ogun doesn't say much, but the scholarly Noemia nods towards you. We will make arrangements in the dormitories, he says, a sort of flattish tone, as his tail kind of thumps behind him once as he readjusts it.
Okay.
You and your lot will be given your own rooms, as you seem to be combat capable. Yes?
Yes, of
Well,
course.
Considering what we had to go
Not
through.
sagely.
For sure.
He gestures towards Hanny and sword and your various armaments.
I need rest though.
His 47 weapons strapped to him with fridge magnets.
And he only uses 2 of them.
Nuh-uh.
Heal yourselves to full.
I used 7 of them in the last chapter. I healed myself to full.
Ravika was already healed to full.
I'm going to make sure that you guys are given the right area, and I put all your tokens down. Umi, Hanny in. Put your fucking light away, Tank.
Okie dokie. I put my Everlight crystal in my pocket.
About to be a lot
Are
of sleeping from my guys.
Are we healing to full, or are we getting rest?
You are healing to full. You are getting rest.
Okay.
The next several days are a bit of a tizzy, as arrangements are made for the various people of Rosh Lee that you brought with you, and other wagons eventually show up at the door. A lot worse for wear than yours.
Ooh.
You are directed to personal dorms, and about a week passes as the redheaded woman, the daughter of the now deceased Duchess of Rosh Lee, eventually appears at the gate a couple of days after you, and various talks are put into place. So I'm going to pass a week,
Dang.
and you're going to level up.
Oh boy!
You visibly see Fumi age like 20 years because the Okumi have a 14-year lifespan. No,
Oh my god.
that's not true, but it would be funny.
Christ.
That's scary. You shouldn't be scary.
You all hit level 5.
Fumi's horns grow twice as big.
That's kind of hot.
Fubi
My only
becomes 90%
unfortunate thing
horns.
about this is that being ready to level up means a lot more for me than anyone else.
I
Kinda
get
does.
Cloud
But you had to
Gazer.
spend all that time prepping.
Like, I know what I'm doing, it's just the entry is gonna take a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Um,
level 5, the coolest level.
No, coolest level. Level 5.
Yeah, Hanian becomes master, maybe.
There are some
Weaponry.
there are some weird. Something is a little wrong with the weapon group selection because I'm seeing a bunch of energy damage type. I can pick shock. As
That's
my weapon
Starfinder
group.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
Starfinder stuff.
That's funny. There we go. Sword.
Now, I get to talk some official things to you guys as players.
Oh,
Yay!
As part of your level up, each of you gains an additional class feat. For most of you, I have discussed what you get. This is a bonus. This is your campaign benefit.
What's that?
Tank is getting a feat a level early, so that he can use advanced weapons as part of training from various individuals in the school. The explanation for this will be given at a later date.
yes.
Seika, your gate is messed up. You are capable of now using metal impulses.
Okay.
You've been infected.
You're not sure if it is the current events around you or something different happening in the world. But you have gained an additional gate somehow.
Is it a metal
I
game?
see.
It is the metal gate.
You
It's
are
actually just like,
you
the
are
fuck is a metal gate?
Yeah, elemental metal is not something that exists in Anon. This is weird. Seika has strange abilities that don't make any sense.
Seika is an alien mofo.
She is the first ever metal kineticist.
But how do
The
I
rest shall-
upgrade my divine font?
She'll put this in her autobiography 10 years from now when we've saved the world. I was the first metal kineticist.
So, Divine Font?
Yeah.
We just do
I'll
this.
help air out in text. Don't worry.
Yep.
While you do the important narration.
So the week is spent. And various changes in your current living situation happen. As you and good lord. My brain just completely gave out there. Louise and her various people are moved into a new dorm with you. Sleeping quarters are alright. The House of Teas and its structures are a bit odd to you. And they don't seem to follow normal Nuemian cultural influences. Various glassish domes made of stained metal.
What are normal cultural influences for New Emia?
So, Nuemian architecture is typically tall and rocky. Typically clay, almost like I'm forgetting the name of the culture. Central American, those houses that are carved into a mountain. They can range from that to caravaneers and even Asiatic influences. Chinese is a pretty strong influence in them as well. These buildings are raised platforms off the ground with stained glass domes over top of them in place of a roof. Sometimes they have roofs within for individual rooms. But they're spider-webbed with reinforcing black bars that are actually wood. Most of these individual domes are actually kept off the ground by trees that have grown through the middle of them.
Okay. So this is
Um,
like Elven Village aesthetic, almost.
Sort of. To the people that have seen the second season of Arcane, the dome shape is similar to the buildings in that camp.
Oh, you're talking about Victor's camp?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That plus, shoot. Crystarium? Is it Crystarium in 14?
Yeah.
In Shadowbringers?
Crystarium
Little
is
column A.
13. Is it 14 too?
It's 14 as well.
Okay.
Raised buildings like the Crystarium in 14, and, the structure is like Victor's camp in Arcane.
Okay.
And now I'm going to activate the House of T's dorm, your new hub.
Wow. I'm just on the table, I guess.
This is cozy.
Quick question. The way I acquire my Metal Gear, is that a fork the path, or is it I'm just getting Metal Gear?
You should be getting a metal gate. I'm not sure how to punch that into your sheet manually.
Because if it's a fork the path, as in like I was picking it as part of the class feature, that would come with an impulse of metal.
Oh yeah. You'd be getting it like that.
Yeah, it makes sense if you get
Okay, yeah. So I just give myself another gate threshold then.
Okay. I forgot the terminology. I apologize.
Finally, I have it.
Oh, is the camera broken?
Oh, I know what happened. There we go.
I can now
If
drink
there's something else
seawater.
full screen on the second monitor, it stops actively updating the OBS even when capturing a specific window.
Okay.
There we go. It's just because I had my path builder open.
Why is that a feat?
Don't.
Don't worry about it.
Neon Show is a very strange book.
You gotta drink.
I
that
love
that
seawater.
Fumi, we aren't even near an ocean. Why are you drinking
I can really
seawater?
just picture this as Fumi just being fed from a giant bottle.
So, this is your new hub area. Generally speaking, they have various individuals that will be milling around here. I just don't have tokens for your new facilities at the moment. I was very busy all week. The strange Ogun from before does eventually appear in the dorm area, and he produces a pair of objects for you. Very wordlessly. He doesn't seem to talk. He produces a book, small leather bound, that he just places on the table before he begins putting the other things down. Inside the book, it says, strange individuals attempted to break down parts, seems to be made of living metal. Inspiration struck on first sight, built these based on you.
Oh?
And the first thing he puts down on the table is what looks like a powder cartridge for a round of yours, Revica, that is made of a burnished metal that seems to be crackling with electricity. It is sized for your gun. Very important to note, he has never touched your gun. He has looked at it once.
I looked him. Have you ever worked with Aussie before?
He shakes his head no.
Have you ever worked with a rifle before?
Shakes his head no.
I'm impressed.
And I'm going to add this to your inventory.
Keep
then
in mind,
I'm
I'm
gonna click
imagining
on
this
it.
this Ogun druid,
Oh, cool.
like bringing out a blowtorch, like trying to cut through with his knife, and he like sighs, and he has to bring out a blowtorch to cut through these like monsters.
Oh, it's almost like a spell. Or not a spell,
It's like a bullet meta magic.
that.
The other object he produces is a mantle, seemingly made of almost like aluminum. It's very smooth, flowy. It's cold to the touch. I do not have stats for it right now, but this is the Frigid Skein. I made 2 versions of this item. One of which was in case Tank decided to switch Hannian over to a Daredevil. The other was in case he didn't. Anyone can wear this. The item is not currently coded in Foundry, but the Frigid Skein is a worn cloak that, once per 10 minutes, as a single action, or no, not once per 10 minutes, once per hour, as a single action for 1 minute, you produce a 10-foot aura around you that reduces all enemy creatures' speeds within that aura by 10 feet until the start of their next round.
The Soning Zone.
I will have that put into the Foundry in time.
Yes.
Question.
What's up?
Cartridge, consumable. Is it actually consumed or is it just functioning like a consumable?
You should be able to shoot it and give it a try. If it leaves your inventory, then whoops. I could just put another one in there for now.
If you consider the consumable rate says unless stated otherwise is during an area, so this states otherwise it's not destroyed after activation. And I believe cats, I assume you remove the destroy after use things. It's unchecked.
Yeah, it should be able. Yeah, you should be able to switch the selected bullet.
Yeah, I
On
can
your
select
gun.
the cartridge.
Yeah, switch over to that.
So
Boy,
as long as your
it's
cartridge
still.
and you make a damage roll. You probably have to load too.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's weird with all of our modules. I think.
Don't shoot Fumi!
Oh no, Booby!
Fumi!
Oh, there it goes.
Well, it does the shock dam or the electricity splash damage, but
I did not convert the electricity. So, something to look at after.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, it didn't eat your cartridge. If you look on your sheet, you just need to switch off of it once you've used it for the day.
Yes.
Not that big a deal. So, all of you have gained your additional abilities. There is one more thing that is granted to you. Each of you already has your moon touch spells. You may add a first rank spell of your choice that fits the elemental trait. Well, that has an elemental trait. This includes metal. You still don't know what elemental metal is.
Interesting.
The attribute is our key attribute, correct?
Yeah, you should have the moon touch spell thing. You could just add a new spell onto that list.
The spell!
Like if you were to search,
Oh yeah, I
If you're-
hit add spellcasting entry.
yeah, no, just use the magnifying glass and drag a first rank spell onto there.
And I realize here that this says it's an arcane spell, but should it be primal?
Yeah, we could switch it to primal.
As magic tradition.
Yep.
Got it. Time to scatter the scree.
You'll be scattering a scree.
So, an important note about your dorms is that they smell very herbal. This entire place smells almost like you walked into a perfume shop or an alchemist lab. Like, all of these plants are producing flowers, oils, or fruits that can be used as alchemical ingredients. There is the now burned into the back of your brain smell of rust is nowhere to be found. As far as the various teachers and officials within the school, they've been very hush-hush to you about what's been going on, and have been more interested in you all recuperating.
Well, they seem very nice.
It reminds me a little bit of the monastery I grew up in.
Even Louise has no clue what's going on, and she's a very wealthy individual who could probably grease some hands.
Fortunately, Hanyan has
It all reminds me of the monastery I grew up in. They take orphan children, and
They take orphans?
They steal them. No,
no, they don't. She realizes that she didn't exactly word that correctly.
Oh,
No, they do not. They do not take the orphans. No.
Yeah, I get it. I spent a year with a monastery too.
How'd that go?
Well, I learned how to. I learned divine magic and sort of how to defend for myself. They tell me I should probably stay there longer because I don't know a whole lot about the world, but gotta walk. Gotta keep going. Gotta go out there and find a cure for my curse before I up and die.
Curse?
Oh, did I not talk about it?
You're cursed?
Iris takes off her glove and holds her hand up to you. It's covered in red splotches that kind of run up her wrist.
Oh no! Iris, did you
my
crush
blood-
poison ivy?
No. I got a cursed necklace. Killed my parents, and blood's turned into crystal.
Well, why are you wearing it then?
So no one else puts it on.
You should bury it in a hole.
Oh, that doesn't get rid of the curse.
It
I
should.
don't understand, but I believe you.
You can bury honestly, you can bury most of your problems in a hole. It probably would work.
Well, I'm kind of looking for the archmage they stole it from.
So, okay.
Unfortunately, they didn't leave me instructions. They just took care of me until they died.
Oh.
I think that's what parents are supposed to do.
You'd think.
What? I wouldn't. That's just theory. In theory, she brushes the back of her neck. I wouldn't know.
I got a couple years. Might get stiffer limbs before then.
That condition doesn't sound. That condition is not unlike the Raka aging process. It sounds like.
I don't know a whole lot about Raka. I don't know a whole lot about anything. I grew up in a house in the middle of the desert, away from people.
I have met very
Well, it
few
never
Rockets
hurts to
myself.
learn.
Honestly, I've only been out of the home for like a year and a half. I don't know much.
I can tell you that what has happened in the past, I guess, month, it's not that normal. I mean, the festivity happens every year, yes, but the follow-up of Rust and Steel monsters and the death of the city's leadership is not normal.
I would hope not.
Speaking of, in the week we've been here, have we had any word about how widespread this is? And I'm guessing it's still ongoing, given that we're still here.
You did say it was localized, but how localized?
You have not been able to leave the campus, so you don't really have a good visual on it for now.
I see.
Like in general, they are keeping you in your dorms at the moment.
But are we getting any kind of word about what's going on?
Not yet. But that will change shortly. As Sternia eventually rejoins you in the... Well, here. And let me just make sure that she is all hunky-dory here. Why do you still have the bless visual? Anyway.
I've been
Sternia,
confused by that.
I think
Sternia
it's-
sits
I think
down.
it's because you loaded into a map about it getting removed, but you should be able to just turn it off in the sequencer manager.
Okay. Sequencer manager. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. Sternia sits down at the table. Holding her hands over her lap as she sits. I've been in talks with the teachers. They thought that my abilities would be helpful. So I explained what I could do as an individual, as a witch. They wish to speak with you now that they are sure that nothing strange will happen to you, due to your... Well, due to
Exposure?
general exposure.
I'm fit as
Like,
a
do you mean
fiddle.
like? Sex, like, do you mean like this?
You
And like
talk
point?
about it like you talk about it like it's a disease.
But Circus, like, do you mean something like this and points a like finger upwards as
Oh no!
like a crystal of metal forms above a fingertip?
Wait, that's how you get quarantined.
Well, you're already in quarantine, she explains.
Oh,
Why aren't
that's
you
why
in
no one's
quarantine?
around in this section. I guess that's why it's only us here.
I was, to a degree. It's easy to, she clears her throat, and she removes her facial veil, to reveal that she has, like, paper white skin. Like, she is not just pale, she is white.
She gets more sunlight.
As a
It's
pale
not that
blood,
easy, Iris.
as a pale blood, I'm kind of less inclined towards magical disease. And she puts her veil back on.
I'm not familiar with that term. What does that mean?
You give me a society check. Pale bloods are known enough that that's viable.
Honey has a -2 penalty to that check because you don't know.
Behold my powerful society check.
Oh no!
Would anybody else like to attempt a society check here?
Let me check with my powerful society. Oh my god, you
No,
people.
I think genuinely
Let-
this
let me
kinda fits
try.
Ravka in the city.
1 second. Iris doesn't know about the world, but she has read a lot of books.
Get a 1.
I scaled.
We'll see what
Hamilton on
happens.
the chair.
Iris. Oh, I'll just push this button. Hold on.
I like to
Oh.
imagine Iris needs 3 chairs.
I might have had something selected.
So none of you really know about pale bloods except Revica. Pale bloods are a strange offshoots of humans, almost like a subspecies that typically pop up around the Borussia region. They have
call them
a
the White Wastes.
yeah, they tend to pop up around the White Wastes, at least genetically. But
So,
they... Oh, go
Just
ahead.
for the viewers, because we were familiar with that term. What's Borussia?
Borussia is... So, with the planet of Anon, or the planet of Dissith, is a bowl-shaped planet, with the goddess of Dis,
Is your moment, Cass,
whose
post the
body. I'm not posting the Dis art.
No, I'm
You
not
should
talking
post
about
the
this.
art.
I'm talking the world art.
I don't have the world art. It's not done yet.
You got an example.
Viewers, you
I've
have to
seen that.
kill cats. Kill him in
I'm not
Minecraft
talking
until he
about
gets
the
you the
giant
world art.
breasts.
No, I'm saying I don't have
Huh?
the map art anymore. I'd have to actually like dig it up. So around where Dis's belly button would be, as she lays on her side, is the tower that leads to this the mountain known as where gods walk. The land around this area is a frozen air nation known as Borussia, which is sort of like Cold Bloodborne-y, very European in inspirations. And it has a lot of strange extraplanar problems. So, pale bloods tend to pop up around that region. However, Sternia speaks with a very specific dialect that Hanian instantly recognizes as being from Rivestal. She also dresses similarly.
Well, tell us about Riverstone, Cats.
Rivestal is the location of, well, is an archipelago in Dis's hair that flows out into the sea. It is a chain of islands, typically whipped by various strange weather phenomenon, such as the Valley of Storms, which is a large canyon permanently battered by what seems to be a electrical hurricane. That doesn't move much. Tanian is an individual from that region. Sternia also seems to be an individual from that region.
So we're from different parts of the region, of course.
Yep. She speaks and carries herself with a very Rivestal inflection, if that makes any sense.
No.
She has a sort of she has the accent, and there's a very particular way that Barusians carry themselves, which is pompous British person.
You what, Matt?
Yeah.
Not quite you what, Matt, because that's not pompous, that's more...
Very, like, Queen's English. It's Yarnum,
Yeah.
basically.
How dare you?
Oh, the Queen's English?
Anyway. I'm... God, I lost my train of thought with all these sidetracks.
Sorry about that. I just there were a lot of terms coming up that I don't think the walkers would be familiar with.
I wasn't
enough.
familiar with them either.
It's a exposition.
So... Pale Bloods are known for a couple of very specific superstitions around them. Namely, they don't revive right. If somebody tries to make an undead out of a Pale Blood, it tends to turn into a weird flesh thing.
Gross.
Rather than like a zombie or a skeleton. And they have a more innate sensitivity towards occult energy. Whether that be magic, outside influences, that kind of thing. As a result, they tend to be discriminated against via superstition or, in rare cases, even religious discrimination. Because they're bad omens. Sternia here...
Someone who doesn't tan.
Yeah, would you really trust somebody who doesn't tan? Sternia simply folds her hands back onto her lap. The teachers tell me that they are willing to house as many people as they can for the time being, in exchange for your help. And she gestures to a lot of you, and my help, and while they are happy to provide lodging, the school does need food production and other such things, and we need to be able to get to the bottom of the situation. I have a hunch, and one of the teachers has spoken to me about getting you an audience with the headmaster of the school. However, there is work to be done around here. It will take some time as the headmaster is preoccupied. She shifts her eyes over before she finishes that sentence. Oh, go ahead.
No. Just,
Madame Louise is working with other influential individuals that we could have, that have arrived from Rocherly. What funding they could secure for the House of Teas for continued support through whatever means they could has been secured. She's trying to go through the list in her head, and while she's got a very stoic expression, she's kind of like counting things on hands you can't see, and going through a mental checklist.
He has invisible hands.
As in, like, you know how you normally count things on your hands and to remember a list of things. She's doing that with her hands on her lap and just not looking. Somebody closer to her would be able to see her fingers shifting as she's going through this.
Mm-hmm.
But you're all doing well, correct?
A bit antsy, but everything considered, I'd like to
Perfectly
know
fine.
if any of my belongings are still at my house.
She sighs for a second, and she looks over to Louise, who is at the table. We managed to talk with, the heiress of Rocherly, and she has determined that the city is best left abandoned until further notice.
That's.
It is...
I think that's reasonable. That's also like. I guess what are you to do?
We've spoken about getting a hold of some holy knights. We've sent a messenger token. And we're trying. This is all she can really give you.
I'm aware and I understand. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy out there. We were out there. I've just got some personal belongings I'd like to make sure I can keep.
Sternia raises a small hand. Yeah, raises a hand over the edge of the table. The Mariah Lee has been reduced to a desert of black sand, or it's beginning to. Trees are beginning to turn to rusted dust. Even the landscape is beginning to flatten itself out. It's not good. It's as if everything is being reduced to metal. We haven't been able to get anybody who could get an eye further out because of the short period of time and how dangerous it is outside. When I looked to my cards and I watched the stars, the best I could see is that the region may be destroyed. It's... And she kind of hums and trails off.
Hmm.
It's dire. I understand.
Do we,
We saw that orb that it pasted it pasted someone. I am afraid
thought-
if it comes here.
I'm pretty sure it fought with a dragon. On
It
equal
was stra-
terms.
It was strange how quickly it all happened. The things we fought on the road, some of them seemed mindless, but others acted with clear intent. When the attack at the festival happened, and the dragon, the guardian of Russia Lee appeared, it was already injured. This part of me wants to say this is a phenomena occurring that we've not documented, but this feels premeditated.
Ulmoi Gior, the Crimson Plume of Mirai Lee, since we've arrived here, he's completely disappeared. We haven't been able to see him or contact him in any way. I have even attempted the magical means.
Do you think he got caught up in the fighting? It was quite
don't
bad
know.
out there earlier. I can't imagine it's any better in the city.
I mean,
Um,
we saw him fighting.
There are, we have seen some of his kith around. Some have even arrived at the school or the campus.
It must be lost.
Can I do
without
a
him.
nature check on Kith?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I
Um,
know this knowledge as a player. I don't know this knowledge. I don't know if Revka knows this knowledge as a.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody can attempt to identify kith.
Here,
Man,
I'll,
this
I'll
sucks.
identify Kith.
I was really looking forward to the festival.
I know, right?
On the one
It was a nice
time
stop.
I get to visit, and the world ends.
You get what can best be described as a customer service smile from Louise at that statement.
Is the fucking dead smile, eyes closed.
Yep. So, Revoca, most of you actually do know this. Kith are squat lizard folk, almost homunculi, typically created through magical rituals developed by dragons as a servitor race. They typically take physical appearance based on their progenitor dragon, and their innate ability to have free will is determined on creation, as well as other things such as specializations, ability to reproduce. Kith are, for the most part, close to mindless. They are all but biological robots. A Kith with free will is the sign of an inexperienced, overly confident, or overly kind dragon. The fact that Kith are showing up here means that they were either directed to do so, or they have a spark more intelligence than average.
Can I say my tidbit?
Yep.
Specifically, if a dragon dies or casts its connection away, the Kith will generally turn into material goo.
If
So
a
the fact
dragon were to
they're
sever
here-
the ritual, if a dragon were to sever the ritual that creates the Kith will be turned to inert flesh.
So the fact that the Kith are even here and not goo means the
It's a
dragon's
sign that the
not
dragon is
real.
still there.
Maybe the orb's dead then.
Considering the state of things, Iris, I really doubt that.
Maybe the orb isn't the one that's causing it though. Maybe it's just one of the things that showed up. That's scarier though, because that means there might be more than one.
I have a hunch as to what could be happening. Sternia says.
Oh? We all
Um,
turn this journey, I assume.
I'm not trying to turn the dragon harder.
I'm-
I've seen what.
I'm not sure about Umoy Gior. I have no real determination, but considering how close the events that have happened to what would typically be called a moonquake, I think what may have crashed into the land is something similar to that of one of our moons. But I've never heard of anything like this in any form of magic. She kind of...
For Seika's now tenuous connection to this additional element or whatever is intruding onto her connection to nature. Does she have any sense of direction with it?
There is a slight tug from your elemental gate towards where that thing crashed. It is not overpowering. It does not draw you in a noticeable way, but you do have a vague, sightless sense of where it is at all times.
Yeah. It's kind of like she has a rough instinctual feeling of what the origin is.
Like you're pulling a lead away, kind of thing.
I gotta walk away for like a second. I need to go check on Pequod to make sure
Hanyan's
he's
gonna
not dead.
raise his hand. I don't understand magic. What's the difference?
Between?
Yeah.
This
Between?
new metal stuff and what we already have.
Knowledge.
I don't know. Creatures like this have never been recorded before.
But that's exactly the difference. We have at least a base understanding of a lot of basic magics, but this is something that, as far as we're aware, nobody has ever dealt with.
There have been spells that can manipulate metal, but as far as we're aware, that's never been elemental magic. But these creatures, they seem to be very similar, well, not dissimilar to elementals in nature.
Now, as the newest person here to Inan as a setting, how is magic largely perceived? Is it like magic is like the informed, educated manipulation of elemental energy, or is magic its own thing and that also has the ability to manipulate the elemental energies?
So magic comes in multiple different forms, which is sort of what the traditions in Pathfinder 2 are representative of. But the most basic gist of it is every living being and every material thing in the world has mana in it. And the background magical radiation of the universe is called asma. Combining mana and asma is what you do to create magical effects. You can bend reality, you can call upon the elements, things like that. And there are various different schools of thought on how to do that mixing together, or how to do that manipulation of reality.
And that's the four traditions.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
what are the elements in that context?
To the average person of a nun, the elements are tied to the 6 moons. There is fire, water, air, earth, wood, and lightning.
So,
Some of those are like-
so in essence, losing my own train of thought. In essence, elemental magic is a subset of, well, it can be incorporated in all 4 traditions. And now we have something intruding into the existing balance, basically.
Yes.
If they're associated with the moons, then is it a held scholarly belief that the moons are the origin of elemental energy
So,
and whatnot on Inanan?
to explain some cosmology to you, Nyx, The moons
I am to the
are not
audience.
hunks of space rock.
I don't remember that much.
They are solid planar gates that radiate magical energy.
Okay, so they're basically like holes into the other planes.
Yes.
3-dimensional portals.
3-dimensional portals.
And we've so the reason I'm asking this is what is Seika's. I would presume, given that everything until now has been held largely in balance, that she would experience her connections to the fire and earth planes, just to keep it simple, is fairly all-encompassing in like it's like experiencing background radiation, like when it's not being actively focused on.
Yes.
Remind me, which moon was it that exploded? Was it the lightning moon?
It was the lightning moon. So you have your gate within you, Seika, which is not quite background radiation so much as you are your own nuclear reactor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so
She is radioactive.
She's generating elemental energy.
You are generating elemental energy, but you are also generating a connection to the plane itself rather than the portal that the moon is. If that makes sense to you.
Yes, yes, she has her own internal portal. She is independent of the moon.
Correct. Typically, a spell like Fireball could either call upon the energy of the fire moon, or it could be I whip up fire, or I cause a spontaneous combustion.
Right.
You what?
No, it's because in there was a lightning Druba and an elemental avatar, so probably drawing energy from the moon. But the moon he was drawing energy from has now exploded. That's probably a slight problem.
So, in inclusion to this, Fumi calls upon elemental spirits. Because of the class that she uses, mechanically we refer to them as Eldamon, but they are, in lore, elemental spirits. Various primal little entities that control the elements, and are typically tied to various physical phenomenon that can be connected to the primal world. If asked, and Fumi can ask, most of you can learn the languages that these creatures speak, in fact. They refer to themselves as spirits of very particular things. For example, the strange windy guy that Fumi was summoning during the cart chase refers to himself as the spirit of the gale wind that rips branches from trees. Like, they are very particular individuals about what they represent.
Here's my
Almost like...
question.
What's up?
I'll finish your thought first.
Almost like Japanese kami, but like in a weird, more esoteric sense.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So Alcee or Fae in general have an innate connection to magic. How does that work in Anon specifically?
Sorry about that. We have so many questions.
No,
But
it's
that's
okay.
the fun of it because we're teaching people.
This is
We are-
this is exposition time, but also there's no combat this session.
There is no better time to get exposition information than during
Getting
the
a
session
debriefing
for
from another
viewers-
character.
For viewers who have never heard about Anon before.
You
Yeah,
better be
also-
taking notes. This is on the
That's
test.
Excuses to lore dump.
I am actually taking notes, but I can only write so fast and people talk very quickly.
There's a lot.
So, Fae, such as Alcee and Iokai, like Seika, are creations of the previous war, of the rough draft of the world after the Dawn War, before it was settled on what would be what. The Fae, spelled Faye, still exists You can physically travel there by digging down, even in the bowl-shaped state that the split planet of Anan is in.
So it's beneath the Neath?
Yes.
Does that mean
Now-
that it's technically closer to the planet's surface?
Currently, yes.
We don't have the Underdark in this setting. We have the Outer Dark.
Actually, the Underdark in the setting is called the Neath because it beneath everything. So
We're gonna go around onto the actual surface of Inanna at one point, so we can be a bunch of Aelamals.
maybe.
Probably.
So all of you are at least several generations removed from all of the Fae out of you are at least several generations removed from the individuals that broke from the Fae into the material world. Revica, you probably got parents and grandparents and grand-grandparents, or great-grandparents. Seika, you've got a long and storied family history of Yoka that have lived amongst normal people for a very, very long time.
I was gonna say, Seika's family probably has written records.
Oh yeah. Now where was I? Well, actually, yeah. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. It's lore time, baby.
I'd like to have some oral records.
What?
I hadn't necessarily known, but the tribe would probably have you some passed down stories.
For me personally, I always forget, where are we specifically on D's? Or D's?
So
Well,
on-
your hand, right?
Or hand, okay.
No. That's Volth.
No, that's
You are
right.
nowhere near the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rosher Lee is located in the armpit.
That's what. It was.
Oh, right, I remember the jokes.
Yeah, we're in the armpit of the world.
I'm just
Um,
trying to correlate it to other areas for other campaigns.
So,
Okay.
for point of note for the people at home, the living corpse of Goddess Dis is in a sort of loose fetal position on her side, and it has become the land. This is the majority of the landscape of Disith.
A
there are various-
shaped continent.
Go ahead.
Seika hails from island chain away from this.
I'm from the hand.
Well, the fingers. The
Sorry.
Oh.
Highly relevant, totally not jerk question. Are we going to find a Miyazaki Dark Souls swamp in the ass crack of this?
Ah,
no, it's
So
frozen.
bad.
don't think about that.
So
Will be hard.
the planet is shaped like a bowl, or like a dinner plate, or something like that. It was originally a full sphere. It cracked in half thousands of years ago, and the livable parts of the world are on the inside of that globe half.
The center
I know
of
you-
this. Remind me,
Mhm.
the center. The mountain is in the center, right? Big deal.
Yep.
Was that over her heart, or more?
Belly button.
Sternum, belly. All right, got it. A little further down.
Yeah, because that's where the
Center.
that's where the tower. I had the mental image of the world effectively being like, you know, when you've eaten an apple all the way down to where there's just like the really thin connecting thread in the middle between the top and bottom, like that.
Sort of.
Because you mentioned like the tower in the middle of like the connecting bit where it's broken.
So where Gods Walk does reach almost to where the center of the planet would be.
Pretty tall man.
But it is very, but it's kind of spindly and thin. Once you get past where Gods Walk is, it does break off in the middle though, and pretty constantly up high in the sky, you can see like fragments of that if you look towards where Gods Walk. So as far as temperature and things like that go, the closer you are to the edge of the bowl, the warmer and hotter the general temperature is, because that's where the sun is, right?
Yeah.
The closer you are to where Gods Walk is, the colder it gets. However, along the edge, you're also much more likely to be affected by the moons, because that's also where they are. Which means there is a location along the edge that's just a frozen hellscape.
Everything rotates around.
Kasega, how close to the edge would you say that is? So for viewers, Kasega is the nation Seka comes from.
Kasaiga is... So... Imagine the back of your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Distance from your head when you are laying in bed to your headboard.
Yeah, so pretty close.
Yeah, not... It would take like a week of boat to get there from the closest port.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense then, at least for me. Seka's developed connection as a kineticist then, of like, because it's a family thing. So if you have generations developing in an area like that where you are being excessively exposed to the moon, or to the moons rather.
Kasega is not an edge land, but it is pretty darn exposed.
Yeah, Sega's not that edgy.
Yeah.
I believe I remember the answer to the question, but for clarity, you cannot see the other half of the planet.
You cannot see the other half. Between the two halves is what's called the Great Cloud Sea.
Too far away, so I know, you know how like things are bluer when they're further away?
Yep.
I mean, the distance is long enough that it is literally blue. You might be able to see it at the top of the center mountain where gods walk, because that's much closer. But from the actual ground level, no.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, is God's Walk like a place people will pilgrimage to?
Oh yeah. In fact,
Not easily.
Yeah, it is climbing Mount Everest to go to a city full of similar pilgrims, kind of thing.
Also,
You can-
aspects of gods.
twice to visit Shangri-La.
Not the frontier, though.
I mean, there might be a frontier there.
No, not Shangri-La Frontier.
Not that one.
The slop.
Not
slop.
that one. Not the slop.
The slop!
You
So
guys don't enjoy your slop.
We love
Oh,
slop.
we love our slop here. Are you fucking kidding me?
shoot, I just had a thought and I completely lost it.
Ah,
Distraction.
Who's got more questions? Hit me. Hit me. Okay.
this is also a personal player question in relation to the multiple campaigns that go on. What is the time frame? Are they all happening concurrently, or is there years, days, months? Like, say for instance, Maelstrom. Would that be prior to the events of Plague of Metal or after?
Maelstrom
blah, blah,
is several years before Plague of Metal.
Okay.
The current farthest back campaign in Anon history is Womb of the World, actually, which
That makes sense.
which took place about 7 years ago. The events of said campaign wound up releasing entirely new ancestry out of the world, so having them around is kind of interesting.
What ancestry is that?
That would be the Turul, who are a large-sized bird folk. Harpy type, not like bird face.
To think I could be playing a very large fat parrot bird. That was one of the character ideas.
Not to be confused with the Ave, who are normal, like, crow people or other birds.
That was the original character I believe I was going to do was a Ave bard.
Tank knows the Turul. He was there for that
I have met
campaign.
the Turul in a Neef campaign that is currently on. And some birds
something.
down there
What was
too.
it?
What's up, Nova?
I had something, but I can't remember it.
Oh, the scale of Anon as a whole planet is about 25% larger than Earth in surface area, and then you split in half and then make the bowls. So technically there is a lot more surface area than you would expect here on Dissith, being half a planet, but with the inside edge of that curve rather than the outside.
Sort of like the,
Can you go up there?
Circumcision?
Not circumcision.
Up where?
What?
Like to the other half?
No, I just said that there's the Great Cloud Sea between them.
I was actually.
Yes, but like,
Yeah.
Are we as? How aware is the average person that there's even another half to the planet?
Creation myth. That's it.
Yeah, so it's
Very
literally like,
vague.
it might be in like some religious text.
It's kind of
sort
like
thing.
other worlds mentioned in like Norse mythology.
hell yeah, it's time for expeditions.
Speaking of
Not this
expeditions,
campaign.
Here's another question. Airships, when do they happen?
During that expedition campaign.
There you
Okay.
go.
Because I
Airships
know
do not exist in Anon right now.
in Maelstrom, for the viewers, there was a great encounter with some creative mechanical kith that made a Power Rangers mech suit, or, mecha, that combined into a super mech, and that was neat. It had flying parts to it. I don't know if they could reach the cloud barrier, though.
They were
Or the cloud
they were
barrier.
like jump jets and thrusters rather than a fully flight capable vehicle, if that makes any sense.
They flew mechanically, not literally.
Cats, are you aware? If I fork the path enough so as a kineticist and got the right feats, I could probably make a completely viable a spacefaring airship.
I don't like that. You stop. We're not going to talk about that. Brush it under the rug.
I would
The
certainly
campaign.
make the argument that you'd eventually just be too exhausted being able to maintain it. Isn't it?
The seed has been planted. The campaign will be derailed.
Listen, the realistic answer to that is anybody with access to control water in high enough quality and personal ocean can technically become a spacefaring vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just breathe water and you just launch your orb into outer space. You're fine.
Your warp.
Oh, you may have mentioned it, but my brain shut off. What's it like on the absolute edge? Like, is it clouds immediately, or can you like look over and see space?
So there's atmosphere on the absolute edge of the bowls that form the two halves of Anon. The continents are heavily scarred by lunar radiation. So, like, the one that's typically, so hands of the clock every odd number. Around the clock, there is one great edge land that is one particular element, like, down to a near atomic level. The fire land is a great desert with volcanoes in it. The water land is a frozen tundra. The air land is,
We don't go there.
we don't go there.
I assume the woodland is probably at least somewhat navigable.
Giant redwoods.
Oh, I love that. Well, Redwood City time.
To the people at home, there is an ancestry that actually lives in giant trees called the Mox. They're bug people. These trees are Fae-oriented. I don't have a good reference available for Mox at the moment.
Dude,
We saw a Mox.
you got a mock.
Well, I mean, like, one that I can throw up.
No, we literally had combat against a Mox.
Can I have a Mox on the thingamabob? Hold on.
The rival party.
Official
yeah.
art.
Duh. I'm stupid.
Idiot.
Porcelain Guard. Book 1.
I know you don't have like a full Fuma or Yanashi, but you do have art of a
Aricia
Mox.
here is a Mox.
She's a funny moth.
What about my
They're all
what about my
moths.
centipede
They-
wife from Maelstrom?
They vary.
Not in the server.
If you can find that post, Tank, you should Imgur link it in the chat, because it's, well, maybe not. Not that specific post. It's more of a shit post. It's a good post, though.
The one the tweet, yeah.
Yeah.
The post where your
Instantly
character
killed.
yells an explanation and then
Yeah.
fucking gets shot in the face.
Oh, Erwin.
Oh, Erwin.
I can go look for it.
Here's my question.
Uh-huh.
I've asked it in Maelstrom, and we might as well elaborate on it here because they're pretty important. I believe Archmages?
Archmages. Super powerful mages, epic level, innately. They, for a very, very long time, ruled the entirety of the planet. Either they disappeared into their studies, or died in one way or another, but typically they are completely immortal through one way or another.
I know you said there are at least one social Archmage left.
Yeah. I do not remember which individual I said that there was for that. But for a point of note, the nation of Borussia is named for the Archmage Beru, who invented necromancy.
Fucked up.
How do you spell that, by the way? Berushta.
Berusha.
Right, how evil is necromancy in this setting?
Vaguely evil, if I remember correctly.
People aren't too fond of their dead loved ones being brought back for manual labor. Depends on your religion otherwise.
I think most religions are either... I know Hesgardia, which is the most prominent religion, correct?
Hesgarda, you are currently in the holy nation of Hesgarda.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good posting. But yeah, if I remember correctly, Hesgarda is very anti-undead.
She does not like the undead.
Like,
They're
seek out
gross.
undead, destroy them at all costs, destroy people who bring undead.
So typically the mindless undead that are temporarily summoned are less of an issue, but an intelligent undead is destroy on sight in the Hesgarden Faith.
Also, you've still got the image upon Spectre.
Oh yeah. Tank. Okay, there we go.
I heard it.
So what other lore questions do you guys have? Well, we've got an hour and a half here.
Uh,
And we don't have a lot to do. We could end a little early today
Oh yeah.
because Nova
Yeah,
is
We,
dying a
we,
little
we
bit,
were very busy this week in general.
and that's
we wanted
okay.
to
I
get
mean,
one
I
out
like having a
anyway,
lore
you
dump.
bringing up the.
I
Oh.
wish we had. I want to talk to the druids at some point.
We will handle that next week. What's up next?
Actually, bringing up the Archmage, remind me, Iris's curse.
Mhm.
Iris
has an end goal. She's she's looking for a panacea
Maybe-
flower. That's what her parents were looking for, but
Maybe-
could not find.
Yeah, we'll ask about that in character.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
What's up, Nix?
considering how Iris described the curse as crystallizing her body and it's turning red, and other recent events, is it coincidence or is there a connection?
Oh, that's a good question,
That is a
actually.
good question. Yeah. Is this metal thing, right, Air?
It's coming from her distinctly a metal rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Circa's
it's
gonna.
getting weird.
Yeah, Circa's gonna gesture Iris over.
Yeah.
Inspect the
And Circa's gonna. Yeah, put her hand on Iris, and what does Circa feel through her elemental sense? She can detect elements.
So, you are detecting a very slight tinge of this strange new power that you have in this rose. Very slight. It seems to be a mix of that and earth, but it's mostly something else that you don't understand through your detect elements.
So
I had
that's
Geo,
that's
if only we had Geofer here, he could tell us.
so that's
Joe for-
Iris's rose. What about the curse in her body? It's whatever's transforming her.
Hard to tell.
Iris can tell you that she does feel it in other parts of her body. Her hands are just very thin skin, so you can see it a lot better. She knows for a fact that these splotches are gonna travel down her body, and eventually she's gonna stop moving entirely.
That's scary.
That's scary.
That is scary.
I am using this as an excuse why I'm not leveling her strength, by the way.
Good.
Hey,
Lore accurate weakling. Let's go.
that's how we like it.
When the curse finally takes hold, Iris needs to sprint somewhere and petrify in a
In a photos.
environmental storytelling where.
And don't worry about getting the curse. As far as I can tell, it's from extended contact. That's why I'm wearing it instead of keeping it somewhere else. I don't want to store it somewhere where someone else can find it.
Makes sense. No one accidentally, coming into contact.
If at all possible, I want to return it to the person who my parents stole it from. But next best thing is curing it or learning
it's
about
never
it.
good to bear the sins of your parents, but I appreciate it and respect your choice.
I don't know if I'm going to be free of the curse. If I can't, I want to keep doing good in the world until I can't do anything else.
Sternia doesn't have much to say as this is going on.
I had a joke question, and I
Go ahead.
forgot it. I'm trying to remember it.
Damn, Sterny, you should hold onto this rose for a bit. Use some color.
The rose acts like Botox, but for skin color.
It is important to note that the reason that pale bloods are called pale bloods is because they actually bleed blue.
Ooh.
Oh. Wait, Sternia, why is your hat so blue?
Uh-oh.
I like the color.
It's a nice blue.
It is a nice blue.
Everything's blue.
I'm more of a purple pink kind of gal, but I mean, it's a good blue.
Must
Gonna
have
need
been
to get you a purple
expensive,
and pink
though,
hat.
I mean. He kind of casually holds up his coat / cape. Like this is blue, but it's a lot less blue. That's really blue.
So obviously we know relatively how dyes work in our world, the real world. Wow, the real world. Dye making in Anon?
Same thing.
Would that reference land?
It's gonna make sense. I
What do you
mean,
mean reference?
Blue and
land?
purples being expensive.
I'm sure magical coloration exists, but like that's it's paying a mage, so that's still gonna be very expensive. So either way, like colors will cost more, right?
Yep.
I cast color spray on Hanium.
Oh, I have a question about the setting that I'm not super aware of.
Go ahead.
So, Fae love their mana. It's how they get their power.
Mhm.
Sippy.
How exactly do Hess and Vita feed on mana? I know they have cults, obviously, but
Oh, you know.
So,
I assume it's not just that.
so I listed it actually on the Hesam Fita sheet that Yana drew. We will be having the ancestry sheets up as a loading screen for the server or for the streams at time, dear viewers.
That'd be cute.
Yeah.
Have it rotate like a
Like Joe.
wallpaper.
Yeah,
A
and
different one each starting soon, perhaps.
Or it
Some
just
point.
rotates every few minutes.
yeah, good for commercial breaks and stuff like that.
It's
And by
kinda-
commercial
it's
breaks, I
kinda
mean
breathing
biological
in-
breaks.
you're breathing in the vibes.
Idle meeting.
Breathing in the aura. They're basically energy vampires, right?
Yeah. So they're sort of like emotional vampires, in that they, not so much the same way as a yokai are, but Hesam drain through devotion, if that makes any sense.
Oh, they're streamers.
Sort of, yeah.
I remember specifically,
Oh,
Cats
that's-
covered it.
Little Sama.
Alcee form bonds with individuals or very, very small groups, and it becomes mostly cohabitational? No.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Cohabitive.
Cohabitive, thank you. Irises, people, again, streamer culture, they take large groups and slowly siphon them away, whereas Seika, it's more direct siphoning, be it like individual worship and
Yoka gain their mana, or absorb mana off of more surface-dwelling people through heightened emotions. Usually this means that they are shit heels, or schemers,
Evil.
or otherwise,
Social
typically
experiments.
social experiments, prank playing, things like that.
but that's the thing, they're also more direct compared
Yep.
to like mass worship. It's more one-on-one or like group activities where it's like they would play pranks on people, or they would spend time at bars, or they would like basically roam from town to town like being assholes to get big stir-ups.
So, question then. Iris goes from place to place, doing what she can. She's nice to people. She heals people. Does she gain a following? Does she get anything from that? Unknowingly?
So it takes a while to gain the air quote streamer culture that Hesapita runs off of. So as long as, so I wouldn't say that she has any direct followers, because she kind of would need to pull from them constantly.
Mm-hmm. What about the party? The more the further we go into the campaign, the more they are going to be relying on her healing. So like,
Hey, that's a nice level up you just got there.
huh?
Wink.
Very cool.
Iris, it is vitally important you put on this cheerleading outfit.
It is. Yeah, you should absolutely open your Only Snakes.
Only snads.
Only
No.
smells.
Only Grands. It's for the older folks. Anyway. I'm trying to think on what else could be covered here. Who wants to know more lore about an
I'm trying to think here.
My brain is feeling pretty packed with an lore at the moment. I'm definitely gonna have to go back over the VOD and
We will leave
jot some
with a
stuff down.
note. Like, we end the stream with a note of only snads.
Only Snans?
Actually,
oh,
I have a good question based on Iris and worshipping.
Yep.
Would she be able to build a connection from a distance if they knowingly acknowledge what she has done? So in a sense, like, yeah, it's not true worship, but people
It's
who are
still gotta
grateful
be
for-
physically close, because
That's
it's...
yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Because
that's
mana
what I figured.
radiates off of the body.
Rage baiting on the public forums for mana and profit.
Uh, I mean-
Oh, that's a good one too. Slime version would be only flans. That's for
Yeah,
the
that-
Druva.
yeah, that's what the Drew have.
do sufficiently powerful Fae sire sufficiently powerful children?
Sometimes. So you, as a surface-dwelling Fey ancestry, you are not true Fey. You have been very diluted by material energy, just in general by existing. You'd have to pull an actual Fey to grab that kind of information, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Circa has no idea what you're on about. Wink.
Important note about Ioka, as part of their prank-playing nature, there are a great number of conspiracy theories about them due to them being shapeshifters. The average person would refer to Ioka in the same way that a real Earth human would refer to a reptoid.
Oh my god. Conspiracy nut.
They run the economy.
Zek has no idea what anyone's on about.
Revika being the oldest always side-eyes Seika. Never trusted it, your kind. I
Let's
know what you
not
really
go there
are.
on Twitch.
You asked, you baited it.
You literally set
you
it
don't
up.
get to say that. You baited that.
Anyway. So, for the people at home, only 2 members of our party are typical mortals.
Very funny.
I'm built different.
One of them is half Oni.
Built different.
You're
built
built.
stupid.
Fumi is truly the only normal person.
Me
Fumi
looking
is
at
really the Fumo of the
Person.
party, just there.
Half
Me
person.
look-
Questionable. Questionable. Not person.
Not person.
Yeah,
You're
Revika's
you
more
not
like a walking
humanoid?
tea bag.
Yeah, you're literally not a humanoid. You're not a person.
I fucking see how it is.
I'm looking at your
Not gonna
I'm
give me
looking
my
at
fucking
your
rights.
traits, motherfucker. You
Revika
are
is a
not
walking tea
humanoid.
bag.
Me looking at the half Oni and seeing you have only like 1.5 horns, and I'm just thinking to myself, nodding.
1/4.
One day one day maybe that horn will go
One day
back and
you'll
you'll
get
become a
there.
full Oni.
No, Hannian is... Oh, okay, you're just pretending to be stupid. Okay.
Yeah, pretend to be stupid.
It is a goof.
It's just
Um,
a joke. A laugh.
So, for point of note, you have been fed here, by the way.
What? We have
however-
eaten in this last week?
I know,
thought
right?
We were starving to death.
Listen, Digimon Tamers is not true to life, I'm sorry to tell you. What was she doing in that orb?
I can't believe it.
Orb.
Orb.
Speaking of which, if it's still like that outside, I might need to start preparing create food and create water.
I genuinely thought of taking Create Water.
So, how food has been handled to you guys was a bit strange, though you did eventually get used to it. What appears to have been various summoned animals through magic have been bringing you basically picnic baskets towards your dorm.
Very nice.
Your
I was-
sandwich delivery, sir.
Yeah, your sandwich delivery deer is here.
Why can't your sacred beasts do that, Iris?
They only know.
Do you want food prepared by tolls?
Yeah.
I could believe if a toll
Ear
specialized
dash,
in
holy
it.
shit, Zen.
If a toll specialized in it, they can make decent food. However, most toll will just feed you slime.
Is it nutritious?
Slop.
Get tip your Uber driver.
Speaking of tolls, there is a rustling in the bush behind you, Hannian.
Holy sh...
A rustling.
Rustling.
Two familiar faces glop their way into the room.
You
If
lived!
they joined us, we wouldn't have left them behind if we could help it.
Where are they?
I mean,
Where are they?
We took
Well,
it
hold
like
on, I need to
weeks,
find them.
Yeah.
We brought them along with us with the creme light gang.
Yeah, they
I
rode
thought they
in
were
a
out
basket
making
under the
money for
cart.
us.
How can they
there's
make money for
to
us
be
right
made
now?
No, I meant more while it was happening. They were making money, so we
The
probably
friends.
couldn't find them.
Seiko
Well,
will
we found
turn
them.
in a Seiko will
Remember we
turn
were
in
in
a
the sewer
chair
with them.
and hold treats out to the tolls.
Very cute tolls.
Did he end up getting the orb back? Or is he
No, he does not have the orb back. That's
I
just
will-
outdated
I
art.
will also hold his hand out for a treat.
Okay.
He gets one that looks suspiciously like a dog treat.
Thank you.
I hand you one of my fruits.
Thank you.
It tastes like chocolate.
Nom, 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 nom.
Chocolate.
I feel like everyone in the party except Hanyan would keep like small snacks on them to feed Hanyan to keep his like attention.
It's like,
Revika hands him an alchemist fire.
He is, in fact, a golden retriever.
Oh, true.
I actually have a question about that ability I have. Does that make? I know it says it feeds you, but like you can
Yeah.
keep eating it every 10 minutes. So I'm just saying,
Yep.
you're like, can you sustain yourself off these?
Definitely
Can
sounds
you-
like it. Yeah, it makes you full.
Yeah, it's good berry.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, a plant.
Oh,
that
right.
is
I actually had a
starved.
token for Louise this entire time.
Yeah, you did.
or I
was
did
really
not.
confused About that.
I had her. I had a character sheet for her. So there's Louise. Hello.
She's very small. Hi, Louise. And Kat
She's
said
very
we also have a
cute.
drill
Fluffy. Fluffy woman. Touch her wing head.
Since Louise doesn't have a token, I'm just gonna leave her art on the screen.
Good point.
Good idea.
It's basically like a theater insert.
Yeah. I have that module. I just don't know how to work it.
You gotta,
Anyway.
you gotta just like look at instructions sometimes, cats. They're
Sometimes I do.
read.
They're really simple.
Yeah. What, you think me, who has written all this lore, knows how to fucking read?
Oh, I did actually miss it when you were specifically talking about it. We can add a new moon type spell.
First rank, any element.
Yeah, and
you
apparently we
very
can also
much.
replace the cantrip if you want.
Any element. Okay.
Any.
It has to be
element
elemental,
specifically, yes. So I replaced Glass Shield with Scatter Scream.
He
And
needs the difficult terrain.
picked up Gust of Wind because that will continue to have interesting utility uses at level rank despite staying at rank 1.
Now, Louise says, tenting her fingers as she rests her elbows on the table. We've been getting statements. She kinda, about a group of ragamuffins running around the campus. We haven't been able to corner them.
Children?
Yes, the ones you packed into the cart.
The redhead?
Yes.
What about the rest of the refugees? Are they fine?
Nodding.
Yeah, well, we've seen all of them. It's just things have been going missing across the campus. So, we'll leave it to you to eventually find them at some point. However, she reaches it back and rubs the back of her neck. As it is currently, and I think the hyper beam has frozen.
It's probably just doing
There.
it's just doing the upgrade to premium thing.
Yep.
It's been going for a few hours.
She huffs a bit. As it is, technically I have no way to pay you all. The Rethespierre company, I have no access to its stores either. So I do hope that you should be able to assist continually, even if it does not mean financial gain for you.
Well, we're all in the same boat at the moment.
I will,
What was that?
of course, help. However, I'm able.
Yeah. Seika says, well, we're all in the same boat, so it's only natural.
And she looks to the rest of you.
Only Revika says no.
I mean, if we have to hold debts, we hold debts. I'm not that worried about it. I don't have a home.
It'll be fine.
I am no stranger to debts. I am a traveler. Sometimes you have to get things first.
I do promise that I will not simply be some pretty face benefactor. I will do what I can while I'm here to talk with various individuals of influence to assist in whatever we can do to solve this problem. If my father's fortune has to be used, then so be it, once we can recover it.
we are being housed and fed, which could often be considered payment enough.
She nods, a slight smile on her face.
Especially considering I doubt it will be as easy to sustain yourself out in the wilds as it was on my way to Russia.
She looks at
Right
you
now,
for a second. And realized that you were actually just meandering through the swamp, living off
Yeah,
the
no,
land.
he kind of just like walked in a slightly like meandering line towards the city from the
From where he crash landed on the shore.
basically.
Because Russia Lee was like a major port city. It's hard to miss.
Like he's kind of
Honey,
came
it's,
here from the stormy Badlands.
Hanian is a Path of Exile's character. He just wakes up on a beach and
Whoa, are
Like
those
meanders.
gems?
he fights and meanders his way to the first major city and is immediately embroiled in like a massive
In the
conflict.
fight to kill God.
The twins are currently working in the mess as well. Louise explains. If any work comes up that I need to explain to you, they will handle it as before while you worked in that tavern. I will try to keep more in contact with you directly. And she kind of leans back in her chair. I must admit, this is, and pardon my own grimness in saying this, this is rather exciting. I've never thought I'd be part of an adventure like this.
Revika looks at her. I've been adventuring for almost over 100 years. This isn't one you want to be a part of.
It's unfortunate about the destruction, but I'm happy for the chance to prove myself.
Iris pointing at you, old. She doesn't actually do that.
Okay,
Iris again,
Grandma.
Old.
Old.
Bald.
Rebecca whips out her war razor and begins shaving Hanian's head in the middle of the conversation.
She shaves him bald, and then the conversation continues, and by the time they leave the table, he's got a full head of hair again.
Tank, you need to Tank do a shitpost of bald Hanian with super shiny hair.
No.
Yes.
Everybody in the party is bald for the funny.
So,
honestly,
a question,
Plague of bald.
will we be able to actually sell and buy things again now?
There will. So I don't have shops available for you at the moment, but there are shops that will be here. We are going back to limited shopping experiences.
Once the quarantine lightens, I imagine the house will be willing to trade with us.
Yeah,
Oh,
as
yeah,
we
no.
progress, we'll
Then
get
check out
more
the
and
proof that We're
more.
not gonna transmogrify into metal hell demons for the last week.
I'd like to put a rune on my air repeater because like I want it to actually be useful, but I don't know what rune to put on it.
There are no
We will-
runes you can put in at this level that will do anything for you.
Yeah,
Are you
no.
like flaming? Or is that
That's
too
level
high?
8.
At level
What do you
8.
mean it's level 8?
I said that when you gave me the Flaming Rune and Kingmaker. I got that thing like 3 levels early, baby.
Flaming is level 8 rune, it costs 500 gold. We have a flaming rune, and we can't even transfer it because it's too high level. That's why I don't have a rune. So you are
there will
pretty
be
far away
shops.
from having a property rune, I'm afraid.
Now, I will note this.
Yeah.
This is not a city. This is
No.
a school.
It's
Um,
academy.
The settlement level for the House of Teas is 3. You
It's
get
enough
what you
for the
can.
very basic stuff.
Yeah, you can get what you get out of shops on an individual level. Naturally, you can upgrade these shops as the campaign progresses, but this is your main hub.
Mm-hmm.
I had you all fooled. You thought it was going to be Russia Lee the entire time.
No, I mean, I imagine we'd be traveling.
Yeah, I
So-
figured it'd be more like
And in a
Maelstrom where we
super
would get
apocalypse
different
scenario,
towns.
Of course, supplies won't always be readily available.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just makes sense.
So, we'll be getting in contact with what facilities we can to help you. Prepare yourselves for excursions outside the school, says Louise, clearing her throat. I would recommend staying away from Rosherly. What guards we had with us tried to go back for more people, and the buildings are made of steel.
Oh,
Oh,
Only one guard of the 8 we sent out returned.
sounds like a dungeon.
does the water yet flow?
The bay is still red, yes.
Are you guys excited for the level 10 mega dungeon, the City of Steel?
Hannian, that's not a dungeon, that's a graveyard. It is a giant city coffin.
For
At what
now,
point does a graveyard become a dungeon?
when it has floors to it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Whoa, is that a floor?
You're just like walking up to like a graveyard or like a mausoleum, and all of a sudden stairs appear. Like, holy shit!
Like, because a crypt is a
Yeah,
grave with 2
what's up,
floors.
Nix?
And if a crypt is big enough, that's a dungeon. Yeah, Nix?
I was gonna say a graveyard becomes a dungeon now as a crypt.
Yeah, it needs a crypt.
You gotta have a crypt.
Gotta have a crypt.
Surely Roger Lee has crypts.
Fun fact. Before I started streamlining Book 1, there was going to be an undead outbreak in Rosherly.
There can still be an undead outbreak.
I had a very stupid thought.
We
What's
can
up?
always make
We
it
should
worse.
end on this thought, but I want you to make it undead that has an ability that's called Crypt Walk, and it gives them enhanced speed whenever they're
You
in.
stop that? We are not getting the bloods on my fucking live stream.
Crypt
It's a
Walk,
funny-
one action. They get to strike twice, but they have to dance doing it. It's a performance check.
But yeah,
You
same
stop
time, that's what I did too. I used in Foundry the code. It's how I first. That's the first thing I learned to code in Foundry rule elements is the smoking sword runes. For the elements.
Just thinking about it, I do believe my very first 3rd edition campaign I ever played in, just when I got introduced into doing tabletop really. The very first session we went into a crypt. The very first session of D&D 4e, we went into a crypt. The very first session of the D&D next playtest, which became 5e, was a crypt.
Crypts are a classic. My first game of Pathfinder 2nd edition was sort of a crypt. When you think about it.
Yeah, sort of.
The Hell Knight Castle lower floor was basically a crypt.
Yeah, there were exhumed skulls all over the place, at least.
Yeah, and of
The
course.
very first
Um,
campaign I ever ran had a crypt in the first session.
Well, you gotta have undead to start off. That way the healer doesn't feel like they're just healing.
You gotta have some fucking crypts, baby.
Just like you gotta have swarms in the early game, so the AoEs feel a little more important.
You'd think.
Or you kill your party because they don't have AoEs.
Well, that's what you put the alchemical
We're
bombs in the
talking-
spider
we're
dungeon
talking about
for.
Early game swarms here. Their resistances are better against mages than against marshals.
It's very funny.
They don't have enough resistance to actually protect them from a marshal, but they will instantly kill a caster.
God, I love Shard Strike. Like, actually, it's probably one of my favorite early game impulses, by the way. Nix.
Yeah, I was just actually looking
Yeah,
at
it's
what
a
my
lot of
Mel
bleed.
impulse could be. I'd not really many choices at sub level 5.
Shard Strike, I would argue, is is about as close to Flying Flame in how good Kineticist Impulses can be at level 1.
Though I will say, it kind of pisses me off that it's called Shard Strike, and then explicitly you fire shards or spines. You could have named it something else, Paizo.
Unfortunately, for Octopath's explicit mentions, you can't get a composite.
I think we've gone off topic pretty hard.
Yeah.
We have. Anyway, Louise finishes off. Miss Marie is currently working with what members of the school body to protect the gate, but if you ever need her, she made sure to let me know, to let you know that she is available. However, at the same time, due to a general lack of manpower, because students of the school itself were also caught up in this, and she gestures overhead with her hand, we do need to keep people here as well. As much as I would like to gather every able-bodied individual to travel out into the wilderness and solve this as quickly as possible, that leaves a lot of people unsafe. Sternia, then I would suggest, at the very least, alongside the Galewind company, one person come along with them, when able. These are your companion rules.
Yes. You pick one companion. Optional.
Every time you leave the hub, you can pick one companion.
I pick Toll, bro.
Well, he's with you. He's not a companion. He's a
I
toll.
point at him.
He reaches into his pack with a sigh and he pulls out a Glock.
Pick Louise. She's a
I choose-
level 1 thaumaturge.
I choose Fumi as my companion.
Oh my god.
I choose Fumo Fumi as my companion.
You can't pick
Oh my
as a
God.
companion. She's a consumable.
Fumoy.
She's in your quick belt.
No. Guys,
No.
no, the true purpose of the tolls is when we have character deaths, the dead player takes over controlling the tolls.
I thought we were gonna say
Full
that
first getting
tolls
levels.
Are, each time one of us dies, a toll dies and we stay alive.
That's fucked up.
So fun fact, the tolls are, because the tolls are basically amphibious palicos, they do carry a cart in case somebody does drop. So they could cart you back to base.
It's very funny.
But yes, I do believe that's about what we've got for this session. As I've run out of prepared material at the moment.
Okie dokie. We are
I do have
prepared.
some more NPCs to introduce to you guys next session,
Yes.
including your new blacksmith friend and your alchemical shopkeeper.
I'm guessing now it's going to be a Druva blacksmith.
No, you literally already met him. He's an Ogan.
Oh, right. Duh.
You.
Alright, I'm still
this-
guessing Druva, though.
Did you guys know?
Yeah, right.
You guys ever thought about why they call it blacksmith? There's actually such a thing as a whitesmith.
And a goldsmith.
Yes, a whitesmith does the filing and lathing and polishing and such to
Oh,
make
that's
things
neat.
shiny.
Here, I'll even post the art that Ken finished of
Interesting.
Mr. Druva.
You mean
Oh.
Ogan?
Ogan.
I beat you!
Got him. Defeated.
That's a hero point.
Oh,
There he
boy,
is.
I have
I
4
really
hero
needed
points
that
next
hero
week.
point.
Where is
We'll
he?
share it with the.
Oh, he's an official art.
Share it with the viewers.
Haha!
Oh, he's
Twitch
not-
doesn't
he's
get
not
to
been-
The
see it.
viewers will get to see it.
He's
next
not been
week.
put in the foundry
You
yet.
should really put a
Yeah.
shirt on.
No, he's fine.
I have to say, for how Ken draws, for lack of a better term, bimbo-esque, he has very big himbo energy.
Yeah, I mean,
Not like-
it's the
not
same,
Hannians.
Let's put it like this: it's the same shoulder, waist, hip ratio on this guy as on his Wimpy.
Yeah.
Tuned towards muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, be holding out my hand, let him cook.
He's got that gangly vibe that some of the official Logan art have.
Don't worry, we're letting him cook. We're letting him cook in the sunlight.
I like his high heel feet.
It's true. Right.
Listen, he's got weird talons coming out of his
He's
foot.
built different.
He also has
You
knives
wouldn't
coming out of his
understand.
back.
Those are just actual knives.
Yeah.
He likes it.
They're not biological in any way. They're just knives in his back.
Don't worry, he likes it.
He likes it.
more snake.
But I guess that's session then.
Yep, that's it for tonight. Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry for.
Thank you for
Later
enjoying
session.
the lore.
I'm hoping to go interrogate the druids
Short
next
little
session.
thing, and we'll see you next week. And we'll also see
Yeah.
some of you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Tomorrow we've got a playtest session for some Vascord classes. We're going to be starting at around 5 p.m. EST, so an hour and a half to an hour-ish earlier than tonight. It's going to be a dungeon crawl.
Yep, I'm gonna be playing a croupier.
Yeah,
Cards.
we've got a whole bunch of third-party classes in
I
play.
was going to play a baboon. Not baboon!
You're going to be playing a baboon?
I was going to play
Yo.
a boomerang.
Vascord,
Daredevil.
Vascord, we need apes.
Send apes.
I was
We
going to
need
play a boomerang Daredevil, but I got distracted by the inscriber. So we're trying that class out.
Look, I'm just saying, we're the next book's gotta have apes now.
Listen, Vascord, Shifter is an open availability. You could have an ape
Well-
subclass.
Well, there are actually a lot of third-party shifters,
There might be a magic warrior.
including
I
some of the
haven't-
good ones.
I skimmed the magic warrior. I'll have to
I
look.
think there
again.
might be an ape magic warrior, but yeah, we need baboons.
Need a baboon power.
Monkey.
You
But
must
yeah,
pick
thank
an ape animal companion as a free action.
You must select an ape animal companion as a free action.
Fuck.
That is still my favorite bit of 1E jankery. That archetype is so weirdly worded. You must select an ape companion as a free act. What does that mean?
That's a free
If
action.
there-
How many do I get?
If there's ever more than one ape in your vicinity, you
You
soft
die.
lock the game. You must choose,
It's-
and you have to keep doing it because it's a free action.
It's since we're on
It's
Divine
when you
Down's a
spam
tangent,
Click
that
your RTS character.
there's I remember watching a mini campaign where it was people where they were exploring systems that have like really jank rules, you know, due to it being like a translation or just poorly
I
written
think
or
I
whatever.
know what you're
and,
talking about.
and they did it purely rules as written. And
Oh,
in
no.
that situation,
Oh,
it's that you must select an ape companion as a free action. Okay, every turn you get another ape companion.
Yeah,
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, I think I saw a post about
I'll
that
put in
recently.
Tree Strider. We love Tree Strider.
This is the one I'm referring to. It literally first, as a free action, you must. That's not how you would word that. I don't know why they did this.
Do you think this is
Why
the
is
guy
it
they
an
hired
action
to
at
write
all? It
Firebrands?
should just say a tree. It should just say a tree strider must select an ape as animal companion. Why is it a free action? Why did they do
I
this?
think this is the guy who
What
wrote
is
the Firebrands.
Maybe. But yes, thank you for showing up, everybody.
Yeah,
We will
thank
be
you.
back next week. We're also here tomorrow.
Of course.
Um,
See you then, or see you then.
Yeah, see you whenever.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
3,
Bye bye.
2, 1.